if you don't need to shoot a 340-inch bull elk, there's probably some other 5 and 6 points walking around out there just kicking the dirt. Like, man, if I could just find one cow, all it takes is just one.
Yep.
And they're pretty frustrated. They got the same hormonal change going on. The woods smell like pretty women, and they're like, dang, what's it going to do to, when am I going to catch a break around here? And, for a marginal caller like me, I've had pretty decent luck. Hearing the big one, thinking, "Oh, I'm going to go there and try to figure out how to call him in." And he doesn't. He just moves off. He's like, "Yeah, I don't need this headache." But then some other dude shows up here, and sometimes I'm not even. They didn't even call when they came in. I just look over them like, "Uh-oh, this is a bad setup. Why was I calling from here?" So
Uh,
I don't know. Is there kind of a different approach or a different possibility with the non-herd bulls or the satellite bulls than there is the herd bulls?
yeah. So there's two ways of, or I guess two strategies kind of to look at. First, we'll say we've got immature bulls. So antler size is hard to dictate there because every area is going to be different. There might be a little spindly 5 point that's the herd bull in one area, or there might be a 340-inch bull that's a satellite bull. So we can't go there, but typically we're going to break it into, there are submature bulls, and then there are mature bulls that aren't the herd bulls. Then there are the herd bulls. So we've got three kind of groups of elk that we can talk about during this fourth week. The herd bulls are the ones with the cows. They've already established their dominance. The cows are being bred. There's really, I mean, yeah, there's still fighting going on because bulls get too close and they take out their aggression there and they have to protect their herd. But for the most part, the dominance has been established. The harems have been established. They've chosen the bulls that they are going to be bred by. Those bulls are tough to hunt, tough to call. Well, I keep saying tough to hunt, but they're tough to call. Then you've got the mature bulls that are not the herd bulls. Those are bulls that are still very susceptible to calling both cow calls and challenge bugles because they still have a chance. They have a chance of having a harem. Maybe not with the herd bull that just took the harem from them a week ago, but if there's another herd there, they're, aside from that big mature herd bull that's got all the cows, they're probably thinking they're still second in line and they have a chance to maybe collect a couple cows. So they're susceptible to cow calls. They're susceptible to a challenge bugle. And then you've got the last class, which is that submature uh, elk. They're not a herd bull. They know that they've been beat up 7 times already since Sunday by the herd bull and by the other bulls that are just frustrated and see them and take out their aggression on them. And they're getting pretty timid at this point. Though, you know what? As badly as I want to hang out with cows right now, every time I try, something bad happens. And physically, I'm paying the toll for it. So I'm just okay slipping around, poking around a tree to see if it's really as big as he sounds, or if maybe I have a chance. I hear the cows. I want to be with the cows, but I'm not going to announce how cool I am or anything. So those are kind of the bulls you're talking about that will just show up all of a sudden when you're calling. So they're probably going to be more likely to come into lone cow calls than if they hear another bugle. Even if it's not an aggressive bugle, they know there's another bull there and there's a chance of another uh, pounding on the playground happening. So, keeping in mind those three things are all happening at once here. So, again, going back to my strategy of starting timid, I'm going to start timid with cow calls. The bulls are all probably going to respond. The small bulls might come in quiet. The mature bulls that don't have a herd might come screaming in and might be there before you can even draw your bow. And the herd bulls that have a cow are not going to pass up an opportunity for a cow to join them. So they're going to announce, "Hey, I'm the dominant bull here." And so they're all, those two mature bulls are going to be vocal. The smaller bull's going to be interested. Then, if nothing happens, I can escalate. And when I escalate, yeah, it might chase away the smaller bulls. It's probably going to light a fire in the mature bulls that don't have a herd. And the herd bulls are not going to be shy or bashful about letting you know that, hey, I'm the mature bull here, vocally at least. They aren't going to come in to prove it because they've already proven it. So we can still escalate. We can still do the same routine that I've been doing basically all season, knowing that there's going to be outcomes split into three different subsets here.
Uh, everyone says if you want to kill a big bull, don't try to do it during the peak rut. Is there any strategy for consistently trying to get that big bull that has all these cows in this period where there's so much noise? It's counterintuitive to say, how can I not kill him, man? The dude is bugling all the time, but he's not interested in anything I have to say.
Yeah.
Is there a strategy or a tactic that might
Yeah, and
help?
I think you made the comment, don't try to kill a big bull during the peak rut if you're using calls. It can be really hard to kill a big mature herd bull during the fourth week of September by calling him into your setup. That can be tough. So, there's a couple things. The first thing is if another bull, a herd bull, satellite bull, gets into too close proximity to a herd bull with cows, he will have no choice but to stand his ground. And you see it all the time. Bulls will absolutely fight. They'll fight till the death during the fourth week of September. But that's because a bull gets in too close. And too close usually means visual, the herd bull is seeing the other bull, which as a hunter, you don't get that luxury. If you're close enough for a bull to see you, he's seen you and knows you aren't an elk, and he's gone. So you don't have that luxury of initiating a fight from a visual. But in certain terrain situations, you can still push inside that bubble inside 100 yards and initiate a challenge and get a reaction out of a herd bull where he's going to come in and run you off. But now you're trying to get inside 100 yards of a bull that has 6, 8, 10, 40, whatever it is, cows, more eyes, more ears. Every movement you make trying to get in closer is a more it's a higher risk of bumping that bull based on bumping the cows. So a lot more risk there in trying to get close to call the bull in. The other thing you have going for you is these herd bulls are very vocal. They are sometimes bugling every 30 seconds for 12 straight hours. And it's like, I swear I heard 400 bugles last hour. That's where they are. They are announcing their dominance. They are talking to the cows, letting them know I'm interested in breeding. And that's where we hear all these bugles. And that's where the chaos comes from. So as a hunter, that can play to our advantage. Not that we're going to call them in, but now we can keep tabs on that bull. We can
Okay.
shadow the herd. We can get behind the herd, follow along as this bull is just bugling, 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 and then we can wait for a cow to either peel off away from the herd and the bull runs out to chase her, or the bull stops to rake a tree and show his dominance, and now the cows are out ahead of him and we can try to slip in and get a shot. But there are opportunities more of a spot and stalk or shadowing the herd because the bulls are vocal, and it makes it a lot easier to keep tabs on them for a longer period of time. It's not like we're watching them bed down and we have to go stalk them in their bed. Now they're on the move, they're susceptible to making mistakes. Typically, they're traveling with the wind in their nose, so they aren't going to smell us as we're kind of staying behind them following along.